Hi, greeting of the day. My name is Digvijay, and today I'm going to explain Cisco ISE deployment terminology. So, in this topic, I will just try to explain about the how to deploy the Cisco ISE in distributed deployment and in single node deployment, multiple node deployments, and what are the services, nodes, personas. So, I'm gonna discuss here deployment terminology. So, first thing, when we are talking about deployment terminology, the first thing we need to understand service. So a service is a specific feature that a persona provides, such as network access, profiler, posture, security, group access monitoring, BYOD features, and just simply you can say basic .1x authentication. So these are the services, or you can say this is the core feature of the Cisco ISE. So how you can just determine what are the services, what are the persona, what are the nodes, and what are the roles. So we can just go to the uh, GUI access to the Cisco ISE. If I'm going to access Cisco ISE as one, and here administration deployment. Under administration deployment, you can see these are the options like host name, node type. Node type, that means ISE. You're talking about and this under this there is personas, and the persona you can see here there is a three persona right now: administration, monitoring, policy, service, and another persona that is called PX grid services. So there is a four personas. So this persona is also service, but this service provided by the nodes, and the role of this ICE is working as a standalone. But when we are talking about distributed deployment, we can just define primary and secondary admin, primary monitoring, secondary monitoring. So we will discuss later. Services. So services is the core feature which I was talking about, like profiling, posture, guest services, security group tag, security group access. So these are the part of services. Node status you can see here is a green check, so that means it is running right. Node, you can say a physical appliance and or virtual appliance. If you are installing this Cisco ISE software on a VM based software based appliance, so that we can say virtual appliance. If you are installing on the hardware device, then hardware appliance. So these are the three: persona, administration, monitoring, policy. And what are the task? What are the feature of these personas? Like if you are talking about administration, so this administration persona that is used to handle about the user creation, simply you can say user management, license management, policy creation, policy management. So all this task is done by the administration. Monitoring node, as the name suggests, monitoring, so it will maintain the logs and reports. And policy service, this is the very important services that is used to just provide authentication, authorization, and guest services, posture, policy. So just working as a radius services, and you know that radius service just dealing with all these services like authentication, authorization, and even device administration, or you can say tech service. So this is provided by policy service node. So here, when we are talking about deployment model, it determines if your deployment is distributed, standalone, or high availability in standalone. So in distributed, like I just said, primary admin, secondary admin, or primary monitoring, secondary monitoring, and PSN. PSN could be on different nodes, and that PSN you can deploy multiple, so that failover will work. If one PSN is not working, then another PSN will provide the services to the end users. So here, so when you configure primary and secondary nodes, then the application will be instantly, and that means whatever users, groups, network access device, device administration, policy, whatever you created on that particular first ICE node, I mean primary administration node, then it will replicate all the services that you created: policy, user, groups, network access device, that will be replicated instantly to all other nodes. So there is some points we need to understand when you configure distributed deployment. The first thing is that you need to define a node types, ICE node, and I mean ICE nodes like I just say on which ICE nodes you want to have what personas. Like suppose you are talking about ICE one, and you can have administration and monitoring persona, and ICE two administration and monitoring persona, but the role will be different. So primary and secondary. And the third node you can have policy service only to have the only policy service features, so that it will deal with the users policy users authentication and user authentication. I mean, second thing we need to just uh, you need to understand like NTP is the very important you know feature or service for this uh, ICE to synchronize the time. So it's better that you should have a single NTP server for all Cisco ISE in the deployment. And then next thing, like when you integrate Cisco ISE or when you register another ISE to the primary admin nodes, so there should be admin password, username, and like admin and password, whatever password you define, it requires, I mean, credential required, and domain name server need to be configured, and DNS servers, when you configure DNS server, then forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone must be configured properly. So I'm going to here show you a small lab like how to promote ICE into primary node. So very easy, like you just go to the administration deployment, select the ICE node which you want to promote into primary admin nodes. So right now you can see here, this one is the standalone. These are the persona. So these three persona is by default enabled, and but the last one PX grid, that is by default disabled. If you need, then you can enable it. And then standalone, you can see the role, but you can make it primary. Once you make it primary, then you can see here the role gonna be changed, and now you have to say the service will be restarted. Okay. So now you can see the role gonna be changed primary, and here administration deployment. So here deployment, and you can see, you can also see from here server information, and the server information is showing the administration monitoring policy and primary a administration and primary monitoring. So right now the role gonna be changed, and here under deployment list you can see also from here persona same, and role gonna be changed, primary administration and primary monitoring. Now, so next task, I'm going to just register another node like ICE2 as a secondary admin node. So here, you don't have to go to the secondary ICE. I mean ICE2. You can click here, register an ICE nodes on the primary console, and here you can put the IP address or name ice-2.demo.local and the credentials. Now you can see here, this one is showing as a secondary node, and if you want to just remove the policy service from the secondary node, you can select this or just let it be submit. And see here, The second IS2 that we have added, that is the secondary administration and secondary monitoring and the session service and posture. But right now, node status is this triangle in progress is that it represents in progress. So after a while, it will be just green check. So the next task, again, I'm going to add another nodes as only policy service. So this is gonna be primary administration, secondary administration, and the third node I'm going to register that will run only policy service node features. So let's add ice as3 dot demo dot local. See here, still all this selected, but we want to unselect this administration monitoring and then submit. Once you submit, then we will see in a moment that the third node ICE3 is added with the only policy service node features. And here we go. You can see ICE third is not as a, it is still in progress. It will take a time. So you can see it, and the progress is still in progress, and it will take maybe 10-minute maximum to be in green check, or will take, it will be started. Yeah, we can also make sure, like through the CLI, whether all services running on ICE1, ICE2, and ICE3 CLI. So go to the Cisco ISE1 and just type through application status size just to make sure all services running. And now you see here the services running. And in a similar way, we can go for the ICE2 and put show application status size. And here you can see services, all services running here as well. And now last one, ICE3, we just put here. Yeah, it's running now here. And administration node deployment. So that's all. Now you can see all the nodes is synchronized. And thank you for watching this video.